What's going on, guys? It's Rafi Chowdhury here with The Chowdhury Show, and today we have a super special guest here with us today. We have none other than Sardar Fahad Ali Khan, one of the most interesting people I would definitely say I have met recently. What do you think, Sardar? Do you feel like that's a fair description?
I mean, after the podcast, let your viewers decide.
So I have Sardar here on the podcast because, the Chowdhury Show is all about bringing on people that are world-class experts in various domains, people that have literally gone from nothing to the top of their field. And Sardar is one of those guys. When I first met him, one of the first things I noticed is that he was just like so aggressively reaching out to him. Like, who is this guy? Like, he just messaged me, I think it was on Facebook or something like that. I'm like, who is this guy? And he was like, hey man, I see that you do a lot of marketing and I wanted to kind of pick your brain on that. So Sardar, tell us a little bit about yourself, just start us off from when you were a kid and what was your life like?
Man, I came from a very, very humble beginning. I was born in Karachi to a very middle class family. From there, I went to an English medium school, but regular school, Karachi University, affiliated college, Sir Adamji Institute, which was affiliated with Karachi University, did a normal bachelor's in business administration. More, I would call myself as street smart. The observational learning I learned from people around me, very underprivileged, very humble. So only way forward was the success and hard work, and that's what I've done in my life. Graduated and found a job, and interesting part is, I would be very honest, the job I was hired for, I never gave interview in my life. I never gave interview in my life. I was chosen. I was literally picked up for the roles. Started from banking like Citibank, Barclays Bank, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, all the big names. Without interview, just referrals. Started my career in Karachi in banking, moved to Dubai, banking, financial institutions, and then came to America, straight into raw business like retail business, and you can call it my rebirth. Never thought from corporate world, jumping into the retail world and conquer that world as well. This is, you can say, the summary, and if you dig into it, 35 years of, struggle and surprises and challenges and success story.
Wow. So Sardar, the thing that I really like about you the most, the reason that I wanted to have you on the show is that you're kind of one of those people that's literally self-made. And from what I know about your story so far, you've always been kind of like a hustler mentality. Like, I feel like you're not married to any one particular idea or business or anything like that. One thing I noticed about you is that you're always turning over leaves. You're always checking this leaf to see what's underneath it, checking this one to see what's underneath it, checking that one to see what's underneath it. And I feel like that mentality probably alludes a lot to your success in the retail space. So tell us a little bit about that hustle mentality, right? That curiosity that you had. Like, you've got this business, you're hugely successful in the retail space. You've got all types of businesses, gas stations, restaurants, land, property, all these different things at a very young age, really. So tell us a little bit about that curiosity. How did you develop that?
So I was a book reader, and you'd be surprised, I was not an academic book reader. I was always interested in books in libraries or out of the academics, out of the course books. And when you will read it, and when more you will read about the writer, you will learn that that's their final draft, not the first draft, right? So for me, writer is not a writer who writes, writer is a thinker. So how many times you think when they are presenting your book, which is their final draft, how many times they would have, scratched it off and tear the paper down, right?
Yeah.
And then they come out with the final version, which becomes sometime New York Times bestseller or Paramount bestseller or any book, that has a big influence on my life, out of the academic, out of the course book, out of the school books, out of the college books. So same thing you could say, I adopted it. I didn't exercise it, but I think I adopted it, that nothing is finalized. Nothing is the final draft. So that's how I approach everything in my life. Today, when I'm thinking it, I will still check out something old, that what else can do better. Just scratch my thought, scratch my idea. Let's jump on new idea, different idea. And that has been my success story, and I don't want to give up on that.
Wow. So you didn't start out as an entrepreneur. You started out as a corporate guy, right? So tell us about what did that transition look like? Because from my understand, I know there's a lot of people, a lot of us in the corporate world, and many of those people end up making a jump to a business, right? They started their first business, but that's a big risk. You've got a steady job. You know, you were, I think you were in IT when you first started out. What made you want to leave such a thriving, flourishing, career in the corporate world to starting your own business? What attracted you to that?
So it's a journey, you can say, from a very structured game to the street fight, where you get punches from everywhere,
Yep.
everything like jump is, there is no rule. There is no game rule, nothing,
Yeah.
So I have been coming to United States from a very long time when I had a job, and I never thought of moving here just because I was in my own shell and I was very secured with the job. But America was my dream, like since childhood. My mom was here, so there was always in my subconscious mind that one day I have to go to America. But the question always arises, what I will do. And I came here, I did explore the job market. You can say the recession was, first the global recession was my first eye opener, that no matter how secure your job is, no matter which company you're working on, once they close the door, there is always the exit door. I couldn't, that insecurity never let me think of only in one direction. I said, no, something else I have to do. And thing is, when America I came, I had no option because I came on business visa. So corporate world or job was the closed doors for me. So my only survival, and I think that helped me out because I didn't have a plan B. There are many people who think what is the plan B, and they think they are the most secure. Plan B is your recipe of failure of your plan A, of your original plan. So when I came here, I didn't have plan B. It's do or die, this or this, no this and that.
So you think that not having a backup option is actually what helped you? Like you didn't have any other choice, literally, but to start your own business.
Do you swim?
A little bit.
Do you know how the swimmers, they can never swim if they put a life jacket on, right? So first thing what your instructor would do, he will just push you in the water.
Right.
And that survival thing will teach you swimming.
So do you feel like you jumped into the water, or you think someone pushed you into the water?
I had to jump because, with 2 kids and like insecurity, I mean, Dubai has given me a lot. The Middle East are a great place to live. The only thing is, not getting the citizenship route. I always had a fear that I'll go back to Pakistan, which for me is a treat, going back to the country with money, with success. But my wife, who was born and raised in Dubai, and my kids who were born here, my fear was how will they adjust to that culture. So I had to push myself in that now or never, because kids were still young that age. And I told my wife, either we migrate now or never, because I was on that phase already, where the successful career, and ahead it was success. I would be head of any banking in any channel, in any segment. And that time, and that age also, when I moved here, I was already 30. I wish I would have moved when I was in my 20s, but never, it's late. It's too late. So I still moved 30, but imagine 35, 38, vice president in the bank, head of the banking industry in any segment, moving would have been difficult. Plus for kids, growing up, raised up in that culture and moving here. So I had that borderline time, and that turned out to be a successful move, that the kids grew up here. They didn't take a lot of time of adjusting, and we were adults, we adjusted. So I just jumped, and I knew that I have to survive.
Right.
Dubai, I cannot go back and find another job and start from zero. And Pakistan, again, there was nothing much left for me. I already had a disconnect from that culture.
Right.
So my only option to live and survive here, and that's what I did.
Right. I feel like it was a quote from Mike Tyson. He said that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. You're one of those guys who literally took the punch in the face to figure out, this is what I have to do, huh?
And I did not come great America.
Yeah.
I did not come in Silicon Valley. I did not end up in Washington, D.C. I came to Memphis.
Wow. Why Memphis of all places?
So that was like, leaving the country and that too coming in Memphis, like my family is saying like, bro, Memphis, that too in a gas station business,
Yeah.
24 hours operation, robberies, theft, like the most challenging business.
Right.
But I had this thing in my mind that if I survive Memphis, if I survive that retail business, I am ready. It's like, you're going for MMA fight and you first fight, you fighting the fighter and that if I beat him,
The top boss
I'll be number
is
one.
your first challenger, huh?
Yeah, so that's what I take challenge that if I survive Memphis,
Yeah.
I will survive
Anywhere.
anywhere in America. If I survive this retail business,
Yeah.
I can conquer any business, any territory.
Right. So tell us about this first business. So you've got this amazing IT career, but at this point you're already a husband and a father. You decide to bring your entire family to a brand new country where you don't know anybody, don't know anything, right? But then you jump into this crazy, difficult, uncertain sort of business, retail business, gas station business, right? How did you start that?
Oh, a big part I would say is my mom behind it and my uncle, who gave me literally a red carpet welcome in terms of coming here and getting settled and having a house and having the basic necessities clear. And then like he put me in training, he checked my work ethics. I don't know what else he would have looked into me that he trusted me so much and he made me his partner. And from there, like 7 years, we never had any failure. Yes, challenges came, we went through together. His guidance was always there. His name is Rafiq Devji. He had a big influence, like he's my mentor and he's my godfather here in America. Whatever I am today is because of his support. So when I came in, and he was very honest that I am into this retail business, I don't have anything else to offer. We don't have nice offices. We have like we have a gas station floor. You go there, I starting mopping the floor, clean the bathroom, dealing with customers, dealing with employee, dealing with theft, robberies, like everything. And I faced it.
So what was that like? You're a guy who came from a corporate America, right? You were the top, very high level position in a very corporate, I think, banking world you were in. What was it like to go from that to having to clean bathrooms and stuff like that? Do you feel like that was just something that
didn't bother me?
How were you ready for that?
So that didn't bother me a lot because I knew it that is mine, So cleaning your own house should not bother you. But what bothered me, the routine, the timing, the kind of people I was dealing with versus the environment I came from, I used to cry. I mean, 30-year-old man, 31-year-old man coming back home and tears coming on that what did I do? Did I make a right decision? But again, my uncle's help, my family help, they went me through, and they all told that you are still in a better shape. When I heard their story, especially my mom's story when they moved here. But again, I had one hope. I would say God bless this country. The American dream is true. The immigrant hustle is true. So that thing, knowing from childhood, hearing the story, looking up, to move here, which I did ultimately in a legal route, in a right manner, secured my business visa, paid taxes, became a permanent resident. So American dream was true. So I always had hope and believe in this country. And that what kept me moving forward, and I never looked back, and I will never look back. A lot of people like you praise, and a lot of my family friends, they said I'm successful, and I always tell myself, this is still my beginning. I am not done yet. This is my beginning. This is my hustling period. This is even now is my struggling period. I wake up every morning with a fresh mindset, with a hardworking attitude that no, I have not achieved anything. Let's not fool myself. Because you see, Nokia went out of business. BlackBerry went out of business. Blockbuster went out of business. A lot of big corporate goes out of business. There is something they do wrong, right? They started thinking, yes, we are the boss.
There's always a way to mess it up, huh?
So that what every morning I tell myself, today is the day I have to give my best today. Like,
Right.
What if this business is not there tomorrow? This is a dying business. So I have to keep adding that energy, keep adding that spirit into a business to keep that alive.
Right. So let's dig into that a little bit more. You are probably one of the only people that I know that's closest to a machine. Some days I have to literally ask and wonder myself, is this guy a human or a machine? Like, you just are going. Even when we communicate, you're just like, hey man, I just wanted to follow up with you on that. Where are you on this, right? You just kind of stay on top of things a lot. And so even like, planning out this podcast, I saw how proactive you were. where does all this energy come from? Like, what kind of, are you like, what do you do? Like, how do you get this energy constantly, day after day?
When you have a goal set, nothing can stop you. First, if you are clear in your goals. If you have no goal, yes, you will think, once your day is not planned, your week is not planned, your month is, or your year or 10 years from now is not planned. That's where you get depression, that's where you get tired. But once goal is clear, like I know what I'm doing tomorrow, what I'm doing day after tomorrow, my body has no time to think anything, which will put me down or push me down. Simple.
So you're kind of like one of those guys that's like, intolerance of your present creates your future. That's kind of like your motto, is what I'm hearing.
I think in this way, like God gave me 24 hours and God gave Elon Musk also 24 hours, right? What he does with his minute, with his hour is where he is today. What I will do with this particular minute, this particular hour, that will decide my future. So when I say like, how can I even say that I'm working hard? How can I even say that, I work too hard? Is my rocket in the space? Is it my electric cars on the road? No, not yet, right? So I have not achieved anything.
Well,
that's what I tell myself.
For many of us normal people out there, the things you've already accomplished is things that people look forward to accomplishing in 20, 30 years. And still many people don't really get that. You've got different types of retail businesses, all these different things. So what does that end goal look like? If this is your beginning, what's the end?
I don't know. There is no end for the humanity. Do you think end? If human would have thought in such a way, we wouldn't have landed on moon in 1969. We wouldn't have aeroplane flying in the space. So I think for the human nature and the kind of our mind and our body and our thought process work, I think if that ends, the world would have been ended. Everybody would have done, and recently, everybody would have died of corona. 10 years ago, 20 years ago with Spanish flu, with influenza, with measles like 100 years ago. So I think that if you want to know your full potential, if you want to deliver yourself to full potential, you cannot think that what will be my end goal. It's a journey and you have to, go through with that journey. There will be no success, no end. If you think we have achieved everything now, no, I think humanity is beginning just now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's just starting.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of your ventures. So you're in the retail space. You mentioned gas stations. So what all do you have going on, and how do you manage all this? I mean, are you like a one-man show? Do you have a huge team of people? How do you keep up with everything?
I would say not very huge team of people, but a very right mindset team of people.
Okay.
So my biggest investment is in people. I identify them, I work with them, I understand their problem, I understand their goal, I help them in achieving their goal, I help them in resolving their problem, and in return, they solve my problem. They help me achieving my goal. So my venture is in different, and there are many things I do on my own, like my consultancy firm, my IT thing is still going on, my marketing thing still goes on. I provide the consultancy and motivational speaker kind of a thing for a very small group and one-on-one sessions. My main business is a retail business where I have brands like Exxon, Shell, Marathon, Citgo, and Chester's and Baskin Robbins, all those big retail franchises. I keep on approaching, like right now I'm in a process of approaching some Boba Tea, the Buffalo Buffalo Wild Wings Go, Dunkin' Donuts, and I keep on sending them emails and communicate with them, and I just find out what franchisee opportunities are there. Like there are already big brands. I don't want to create something on my own. I am trying to work out with some already established brand. Live their ecosystem, how they have the standard operating procedures, what they are doing it, learn from there and apply in my different kind of businesses.
Sure.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned earlier, we all get 24 hours in a day, but you seem to have made very, very good usage of your 24 hours you've been given. You're very efficient with it, right? So as a high performing entrepreneur, what do you think are some of the key habits that you've formed over the last, say, decade or so, since you've been in this business? What do you feel like are those key habits that give you this sort of energy and this motivation consistently day after day that keeps you performing?
So from day thing and the habit, I would say, our parents were very strict, like early to bed and early to rise.
Okay.
So if you're not the first person to wake up and be on the road, be in the business, I mean, then you are not the first person, right? So my habit was, even if, when I used to go to the bank, time is 9 o'clock, I'll be there 8:30. I'll be the first person to be in the office. And that is again day by day habit, which makes. So right now, I'm the first person who make it to work. I'm the first business open doors for customer. I'm the first person to be ready for my customers. That's day by day habit. You cannot develop overnight. It's by time. So that's how I plan my day. That like the birds are early rise, and that's how they get
Yeah.
the food. If the birds go out now, do you think they'll find anything?
Right.
No.
So you've always been an early bird.
Early bird.
Well, you and I are cut from very different cloths, I feel like, because I'm the exact opposite. I argue that the early bird doesn't get the worm, but the late night bird is even earlier, right?
That's true. That's true.
All right, so you're a morning person. So what does your morning routine look like? Are you one of those guys that just gets out of bed at 2 minutes before your first meeting or something and then just drive off, or do you feel like you go through a couple of rituals in the morning?
Yeah, very much onto rituals. Like, I plan my day because, if you are not up, let's suppose you start, many of us, especially the corporate job people, they start their morning at 9. I'm into retail business, which starts very early, 6 and 7 o'clock. But if we talk about average successful people, I mean, your office starts at 9 and you're waking up at 8. You're already starting your day with hassle, right? Rushing.
Even waking up at 8 is a hassle, you think? You're already late at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, you should be up by 5:30 and 6.
Wow.
Relax, go on a morning walk or stretch, think, be in a good mood, happy mood, have seeing your kids ready, fix their breakfast. So imagine, just see, like, you are rushing, you woke up at 8, you are rushing in traffic. What mindset you have by the time you reach office? You already have anxiety. You are rushing. You are late. My boss will be upset. My customer is waiting on me. Why this guy is so slow, honking? What energy you are giving to yourself? Instead, you wake up at 6, relax, anxiety. By the time your day is starting, you are on your highest energy mode, in a very right mood. You're not rushing. You have patience. And then you are making it to work at 9. So what will your energy, what will be your mindset to start your day? That will make a big difference. Yeah, on the other end, instead of going to bed by midnight, you will go bed at 9. That way you will have your early dinner. You will not drink that much. So it's overall benefits, healthy physical health as well as mental health benefit you can enjoy. I see a lot of people miss on that. I don't work with people. Literally, my first thing is, what your morning routine, what time you wake up. And even if they are businessmen, I have my own business, I wake up at 10, you're not for me. If your business starts at 10 and your day don't start at 6 o'clock, I don't want to work with you. Yeah.
So you prefer to work with people that are kind of maintaining a similar lifestyle as yours, similar timeline,
frequency has
right?
to match. He cannot go east, I cannot go west, right? We have to be same direction. Not exactly same, but to some extent same.
So I'm assuming that you're also a guy that probably goes to bed pretty early. Yeah. Like, you're not staying up till midnight and then waking up at 5 o'clock usually.
No.
Right? So you're leveraging the daylight.
The world, I cut off not from my business. There are some emergency people, contacts where my phone will ring. But you can say I turn off TV, I turn off my screen time an hour to bed. 10 o'clock, I'm in my deep sleep. Yeah. And 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'm waking up fresh. And then I have my own day. Sometimes I cook my lunch at 8, 9 in the morning, so I don't have to come back and worry. The day is well planned and well structured. No hassle, no anxiety at all day long.
That's pretty impressive. I can't say I have too many of those days right now.
Yeah, that's the best habit. And trust me,
I gotta learn from you how to do that.
You will feel the difference.
Wow. Okay. So you mentioned a couple of things that I thought were kind of interesting. You mentioned about mental health and physical health also, right? So, as someone who's high-performing entrepreneur, you've got every single, pretty much, looks like every minute planned out, right? You're a planner kind of guy. How do you fit mental and physical health? How do you take care of that? How do you find time for those kind of things? And what does that look like for you?
So, our brain consumes 25% of calories.
Calories, yeah, absolutely. As a chess player, I can verify that one.
So you have to be, and honestly, I'm not physically very active or physically very healthy because of my ad hoc routine. I can't plan my lunches, and I mean I do plan my day, my work day, but I cannot plan, and that's what right now I'm working on, to be disciplined in my eating habits. But as much as I can avoid sugary drinks, salt, carbs, unhealthy food, I do that. I try to eat as healthy as possible, because physical health leads to your mental health. Let's suppose when I was a big guy. I was like 215 pounds, and I was obese. And I saw the drawbacks of that when I
You're
ignored
looking
my
a lot more slim than
my
that right now.
health. I was seeing like I was draining financially. My business was not successful, and I said, what's the reason? I'm working same hours, I have same energy, but what I felt is I ignored my physical health, and I saw failures. And when I get back that no, I have to be physically in perfect shape, then my mental habits, my thought process, my approach to things, my decision making, all is being influenced by my physical health. I cut down on so many things. Now I lost like 35 pounds, and I want to lose 20 more pounds.
Wow.
That I am physically very active, very healthy, and that is affecting my brain health, my mental health, affecting my decision makings, my approach to things, everything. So that's now the most important. Especially I'm in my late 30s. I'll be 40 in 2 years. So my health is now my main priority.
Right. Yeah, that's also a really good point you brought up, because I feel like I've met a lot of people in the business space that will play this game where they sacrifice their health now for wealth, so then later they can sacrifice their wealth to try to get health.
Yeah.
And health is, unfortunately, it's non-renewable. Once it's gone, it's gone.
True.
Money, it can come and go, but health, once you lose it, it's gone.
True.
So I think that is a very important point that you brought up, is maintaining that balance and still finding that time to have that time to yourself to take care of your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, all these kind of things.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, totally makes sense. So I wanted to understand a little bit more about, you came in at a very, unique sort of way. You came from a different country. You were in a corporate world. Then you had some family connections and some support, and then you moved into this retail space, right? Now, people in the younger generations, we're talking like people in there that are just graduating high school, college, so on and so forth. I feel like a lot of these kind of guys are not gonna really, gas station is not, or retail business is not what the first thing that you're taught in college, right? Like you're taught to go get a job, get a corporate job, learn computer science, learn how to be a nurse, a doctor. How can someone who doesn't have that sort of ties, family ties, or previous connection to this world, how can they get into this business? How can they start a retail business?
I think in America it's pretty easy, but because I have seen the kids, like I go to Chick-fil-A and I see kids as young as 16-year-old or McDonald's, these retail businesses. The only thing which I would say they miss is their goal again. They work that business only as funding their college, or maybe they're asked by the parents that, hey, you have to pay your own rent, or they move out with their friends, or they leave their hometown, or they have like relationships here at a very young age. They don't look from that perspective that what if the retail business I'm serving as a cashier or I'm doing a part-time, what if I'm the owner? If only that trajectory we set for them, I bet 2 years, 3 years later, they'll be running the whole show. And investors like me, the business owner like me, will invest in them. That, hey, you running that location so great. Why do I look for another partner, or why do I post an ad on LinkedIn, for the store manager? You right there, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 3 years successful operation. I come as a business owner and I have nothing to do. I'm wasting my time. Rather, I put my energy in something else and I create more opportunity. So that's what I think, like, person who is there, they are already doing that job for very less money, plus with no vision and goal to become this. As you said, their goal is, especially in this young age, that we'll be movie star, we'll be football player, we'll be soccer player. And once we graduated, once we have a college degree, the world will be running behind us and we will be signing blank check job. Unfortunately, by the time when they learn that earning a college degree and master's degree is not the successful career start, it's the start of your struggle.
Right.
And that time they
But
have
then
missed the
by then you
opportunity
already have bills, you have a family, all these
because they
different.
didn't take it
Yeah.
seriously by then. So by the time you are living in your mom dad house and you are driving a business, a retail business by yourself, but you took it as a part time.
Right.
That's
So starting young is and not having a lot of those liabilities
And I've seen
is a huge advantage.
a lot of young folks from the country I've come. Even now, the 30-year-old is under the wings of their parents. They still live in their parents' house. So that the beauty, and I wish I will do the same thing with my kids when they turn 16, 17. They have to go learn retail business. Even now, they are like very young, and I talk to them, how the retail business works, how the profit margin works, what is business. And I have given them the task because see, they spend most of their time on social media, on the gadgets.
Right.
So I have given them the task that you go on TikTok, any viral product you guys will find, and I'll keep it into my retail business. And if that sells, I will give you 10% commission.
Wow.
So I just set their trajectory. I cannot stop them from using social media, or even if I do, they'll be the dumbest kid when they go to college. They'll say, "What you talking about? Which trend?
Right.
Which artist? What sports?" Because they'd be missing out on a lot.
Right.
Right. So when I'm giving them, I'm just setting up their trajectory that okay, use TikTok or use Instagram, but in the same way, you can have that hey, see any energy drink. Any like Labubu dolls, like chocolate, any viral product, you can find it, send it to me. I'll find the manufacturer or the wholesaler. I'll put it and then I share with them, hey, I'm displaying it right. I sold this much, I made this much profit margin. So it's like doing a chores, Earlier you used to clean the bathroom, the house, or the car chores, right? Now when the world is transforming, we are going more into artificial intelligence, machine learning, and a digital world.
Yep.
So give them some chores what they'll be interested in, digitally.
Right.
And that's what I do with my kids. So imagine once they turn 18 and once they'll be working in Chick-fil-A, I will not send them just to pay their bills. I will say that if it's your Chick-fil-A, what you could do better, do that and tell
Right.
your owner that was wrong and I made it right. I made it right. By the time they are 20, 21, that retail franchise or that investor maybe invest with them.
Yeah.
So that's the approach I would say. And it's nothing extra, right? Just the right approach and shift your trajectory. You are anyways doing that job. You don't have to do anything extra. You just have to train your brain in this way that I am the CEO of this business. I'm not the cashier. I'm the business owner. I'm not a worker.
That's one of the best pieces of advice that I feel like I've gotten from one of my mentors, even just in the corporate world, right? When you go into a job, act like you're the CEO until someone slaps your wrist and says you're not.
Yeah.
And just having that driven mindset where you're the one initiating, you're executing on tasks. You're going to your boss or your manager and saying, "Hey manager, hey boss, I think we should do this and I'm going to do that. Are you aligned with that?" Just having that sort of mindset instead of waiting for the manager to tell you what to do significantly shifts the dynamic, right? The manager is now like, okay, that's a guy that's going to bring me the ideas.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to ask you is, there's a lot of baby boomers, like people like say, we're talking like people in their 50s, 60s that are in these retail businesses, especially as you mentioned, convenience stores and these kind of things, are usually a lot of like immigrant families that are owning these businesses. And as you can imagine, these people are going to get old. They're going to want to move out of this business. What do you think will happen to many of these businesses that are being run by these baby boomers right now when they start retiring?
It does sold out. Like my plan, if my kids are not taking over my empire, I will not leave it. I mean, I will plan my age, my retirement. Maybe by that time, if I'm alive till then and my kids decided to do something else, and honestly, I will not push them to come and take over my business. I just want to pass it on that approach, that how you can do any kind of business. Business is an approach. Business is a mentality. Business is as simple like just find out the market needs, find the manufacturer who's doing it, and just connect the dot, get the item and sell the item. There is no rocket sciences in the business. Uber, DoorDash were businesses. They identified the need and they created the product. But I would say how they created the product through the collaboration, right? They still have the interface used by Google, for the maps. So they just connected it. Hey, I'm getting this from Google. I'm getting this from IT. I'm doing this from here. Connected it and present it as a product, right?
Yeah.
So that's the business. So even if they will do any kind of business, if they will not take over my places, I will have those, sold out and put my money in mutual funds or something where I will get return and have a good retired life. So I think every business person, hardly if it's an accidental death or not well planned, maybe 1% or 2%, but I know when it's your hard earned money, when it's your hard earned build, I mean, we have a exit plan too. Like,
Sure.
how will we take out?
Gotcha.
How will we get out of this business? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're also in a unique position in that you have a background with IT, so you understand machine learning, AI, and the influence that it's having in our just the market space right now. But you're also in a retail space where the customer, you get to physically interact with that customer. There's foot traffic, right? How do you see this shift towards digital purchasing and digital, behavior, especially with machine learning and AI being such a big thing now? How do you think this is going to impact a lot of these retail businesses, especially those, boring, we're talking mom and pop businesses where someone goes in and buys a basic product from a store? How do you think these kind of businesses will be affected by this wave?
The shift will come. Human will be educated. No one can replace human intelligence. No one can. See, the planes have come, the travel time has reduced, but it's human who learn to fly planes, right? Okay, tomorrow there will be pilot-less plane, maybe driver-less cars, but something on the back end, somebody is doing that programming. So the shift has always been there. The only thing people get scared now because the shift is coming very fast. Earlier, the shift used to come in decades, 2 decades, 3 decades.
Sure.
Now the shift is coming every 2 years, 3 years. So that way, I think human brain will, learn to use mom pop. Their grandkid will come one day, set up like I did for my mom. I just set up an Excel sheet that, Mom, why do you write it on paper, your sales and this? This is the Excel sheet. I did the formula. I said, you just have to enter the sales. Those are your percentage. Your price will be driven. This is cash. This is card. This will be a deposit. All you have to do is just enter one item. So that mom and pop store, I'm sure their grandkid will come and help. And there will be technology, with one button. Nowadays, like you tell my grandparents' age people, they're using FaceTime, they are using iPhone.
Right. They're
they are
using it even
doing
more
the
than us.
Apple Pay, yeah. And they are
My
driving
grandmother
cars.
calls me on Facebook more than I call her.
Yeah. So they will learn. They will
Right.
learn. Yeah. The shift will happen. They will learn. Like a lot of old people are now doing, like when I order something from Uber and DoorDash, I see 60-year-old, 65-year-old man. So definitely he is using the app. He has downloaded the app. He is using the GPS. He is accepting the order. He is marking it delivered. He know how the refund work. He know how to call the call center. So that's the beauty of human brain, that it's adaptive.
Adapt or die, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense. I know we're kind of coming up on time, so I've got 2 more questions I want to hit before we have to wrap this up. So you also double out as a husband and also as a father, and you've got family. And how do you balance these 2 things? Your personal life and business, especially as someone who is a serial entrepreneur. You've got multiple ventures and businesses, and you're somewhat active in all of these different businesses. How do you balance the 2 things?
See, very simple thing, and it's like a recipe. Let's suppose if you are mixing something with meat, vegetables, you adding water, oil. Tell me which thing you can put. Let's suppose if you use the rotten vegetables and the best steak in the world, can you serve that recipe? Or the expired meat, or the meat is stinking but organic vegetables, and you are mixing the recipe, can you still serve it? So that's what I tell my wife, I tell myself, and I tell my kids. The easiest thing to master every role, let it be a husband, like personal role or professional role, it all comes if you are a good human being. You cannot tell anybody that, oh, I'm the best husband, but I'm the worst father, or I'm the best husband, good father, but I'm a worst human being. If I'm the best human being, I'll be best in every aspect. What is my existence? What is my basic core existence? I'm a human, right? So if I am a best human being, I'll be a best son, best husband, best friend, all best. So I thrive, and I tell my family to thrive, that let everybody tell that you are a good person. If you go behind that, I want to be a good husband, I may upset my parents. I want to be a good father, I may upset my wife. Best thing is I'm a good human being, and that will cover as a whole everything.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. One last question we like to ask all of our guests on the Chowdhury show is, what is your favorite book of all time and why?
There are plenty. If you tell me a topic, I have one favorite.
All
book.
time favorite, any topic.
The Secret.
It's
Secret. Written by a lady. I can't recall her name, but she was a school teacher.
Wow.
That book, if you read, that has changed my life. That will change your life. The Secret.
How did it change your life?
Best book. The way I approach things and the way I think and the way I manifest things. So our job is not how it will happen. That's where people stuck that, oh, I will be a millionaire, I will do this. How? The how question pushes us behind. Our job when we manifest and how the universe works is not how, it's what. Just think what you want to achieve. How it will happen, it's universe job, and let the universe decide. So she explained in a book's very simple way. You change the channel from TV remote, right? Do you know how that works? Have you ever thought of how that works? You don't care, right? Because you switch the channel.
The TV comes on, I'm happy.
And it's the frequency. Actually, you tell your remote that go forward in a frequency or go backward in a frequency. That's how channel goes up or channel goes down, right? That's exactly how the universe works. You have to tell the remote that change my frequency and change my channel, and universe will do it. When you have a problem, how it will be done, you will never press that button. So always worry about what, not how. So that book changed my perspective to things. And that delivered. Now I regret back then why I thought only this limited what I needed. I wish I would have thought more. Yeah, that's my all-time favorite book. And I read it again and again. It's still in my bookshelf. I can show you. And every time I read it, so first I read it when I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
I was single. Then I got married, so my life experience is changing. So whenever I read this book again,
you see it with a different lens.
A different lens and different perspective. And I apply the same theory and it keeps me going on. And it's a very small book. You can finish it in 1 week.
That's a very interesting idea that you just gave me, is books that we read, say 5, 10, 20 years ago.
Read it
when we were so naive in different ways. Today, if we read the same book, it may have a totally different effect.
The same line will have a different interpretation and meaning for you. The same line. What you read 15 years ago, you'll read now, and you will read 15 years later. The interpretation, the understanding will be... Or movies. Watch any movies you have watched 10 years ago. Watch that movie, you will be watching with a different lens.
Wow. Sardar, it was a pleasure.
Same
Thank you very
here.
much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.